Greetings everyone, and I hope you're all fit and well out there in collecting land, and welcome back to the channel for another figure unboxing and review. Well, I say figure. Is it a figure? Is it a statue? Well, we'll make our minds up about that later on when we get this guy out the box. But it's something a little bit out of the ordinary, I have to admit. And I admit to being a teeny weeny bit excited today. As you've probably already guessed, we're going to be taking an up-close and personal look with none other than an Astro Boy from Blitzway. Now, down to the sheer size of this box, we're going to be taking a look at it in front of the details, but the review will take the usual well-trodden path with a quick look at the box. Then it'll be over to the table for a look at all the accessories that come with the figure. Then it will be out with the robotic superhero himself for a close-up look, and then we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. But before we get into this humongous box, some shout-outs and background. Firstly, a massive thank you to everyone who subscribed to and supported the channel since we started nearly a year ago. You have been amazing, one and all. And to everyone out there watching the content but not subscribing, come on, throw caution to the wind and hit that subscribe and bell notification icon. It's cost and pain free, and you'll be supporting an old man in his collecting obsession. And you'll be sure not to miss any of the new content coming up on the channel as well. So, in short, everybody wins. I'd also like to send an impromptu shout out to UK Customs for their lack of an ability to follow instructions, their clumsiness, and their overall disrespect for anything collectible. This box has literally just come through the door and gone straight in front of the camera, and it's been savaged by good old UK Customs. I'm hoping nothing's broken in there, but they have made a complete mess of it, which isn't apparent from the box as you see it now, as I've managed to put some semblance of order back in place. But let's hope and fingers crossed that their guerrilla tactics haven't damaged anything inside this box. But yeah. So, background. For the uninitiated, Astro Boy is a manga character first published in Japan back in 1952 and created by Osamu Tezuka, who is widely recognized as the godfather of modern manga. Suffice it to say, Astro Boy was to manga what Mickey Mouse was to Disney. The character went on to appear in numerous manga, TV shows, movies, video games, and in the 60s became the first manga to be dubbed into English and exported to the US, where it did very well, thank you very much. Suffice it to say, Tezuka's creation, Astro Boy, is widely recognised as the greatest and most influential manga of all time. And it tells the tale of Astro Boy, a robot boy created by Dr. Tenma as a replacement for his son who died in a traffic accident. Rejected by his father and raised by his foster father, Astro Boy uses his superhuman robotic powers to help those less fortunate than himself and ultimately save the world. But that's enough of my Astro Boy reminiscing. On to this box, and a huge box it is too, and very, very nicely presented. I am some distance away from this box, but I will try and get in and manhandle it so we can get a complete look around it. What you've got on the front is a shot of the figure stroke statue itself inside the pod. Now, we'll say from the get-go here, this is the deluxe edition of this figure. I think they're calling it the complete version, and that means it comes with the pod and with the figure itself. But yeah, what you've got on the front there is a picture of the figure inside the pod. It says Blitzway in the top left-hand corner. Metalsmith, the real series down here, and I am assuming this is the company that's been involved in providing the metal parts with this. There's a lot of die cast in here. It says Astro Boy across the middle there, superb anime statue. You've got the Astro Boy symbol there in sort of a gold, high gloss gold foil outline. And behind that is sort of all machinery, obviously meant to replicate the inner workings of Astro Boy himself. Now I'm going to lean in and try and get this box to turn. Now the figure is still inside here, so it's got some heft to it on the side. Once again, it says the real series at the top there. You have these images of the machinery and the inner workings of Astro Boy, including pistons and all kinds of bits and pieces going on. It says Astro Boy in the centre again, complete version pack, and Blitzway at the bottom. We'll bring it round to the back, and what you've got on the back here are some really nice high-definition photographs of the figure in all different formats inside the pod, stripped down, or shots of the lighting effects and the exterior parts and so on. But we'll be covering all that when we zip over to the table. All the warnings and notices there. Don't piss this figure off, or it might use its superpowers to knock you into the middle of next week. Down at the bottom it says Blitzway. You've got the real metalsmith there again, and there's a list of the creators down this side as well, and all those involved in the production of the figure stroke statue. So yeah, if you're wanting to read that, feel free to hit pause. I am not going to even attempt to lift this box up because it weighs a ton to see what's on the bottom and the top. It doesn't look like there's anything. Take my word for it. All there is on the top there is a replication of this symbol as well. And I'm not even going to have even attempt to look at the bottom of it. So there you have it. That's the humongous box. So without further ado, I will crack this box open, get all the pieces out. We'll go over to the table and have a look at everything that comes with your Astro Boy figure. Okay, so humongous box opened, and it's the usual story when you open the Blitzway box. Inside you're greeted with 3 tiers of polystyrene, all held together with those wonderful black Blitzway branded transit straps. Before we dive into the accessories though, I'd like to say a huge thank you to William Wang over at One Man's Hobby for sourcing me this figure. If it's anything 1/6 scale that you're after, or statues, anything along those lines, drop him a line. I am sure he'll be willing to help, and there will be a link to his website in the description below as always. And at this point as well, it's fair to say, these aren't all the accessories. It also comes with the pod, as we mentioned when we were looking at the box, and the figure itself. What we're going to do is take a quick look at these interchangeable bits and pieces. Then we're going to bring Astro Boy out himself and see how they work with him and how he interacts with this stand. And then we're going to introduce the pod and see how the whole thing works as a complete package. I am not going to go through each individual piece here because this review would end up taking 3 or 4 hours, but we will have a little look at some of the bits and pieces. But let's get the mundane stuff out of the way first. What you do get with the figure are a couple, an instruction manual and an instruction sheet. The instruction sheet is about changing the hands out and how you actually put store the accessories inside the pod itself. So good to see that. You also get this complete instruction manual, and it is fairly comprehensive. It's a complex figure, this. There's a lot of bits and pieces here as well, and I would recommend, if you've got this on pre-order, you're thinking of picking it up, it's on its way to you, please read the instructions. There's a lot of super high gloss and metal pieces here, lots of fiddly little bits and pieces, and things need to be done in a certain order with this figure. So yeah, I don't normally read my instructions, as regulars to the channel will know. I do that man thing and throw them to one side and improvise, but I most certainly will be reading these between takes. But yeah, nice to see, complete and full instruction booklet, so we'll put those to one side. What else do you get? You get this rather nice little card in this black envelope from Blitzway. Now what you've got in here, and I don't think I've ever seen this with a figure before, or a statue. Maybe it's something that Blitzway do with statues, but what you've got is a QR code. You scan this QR code, you then attach this this little sticker to your statue, and what it does is it authenticates it and also protects it from counterfeit products, recognises it's a genuine product and recognises it's yours as well, so it's security tagged as well. So that is really good to see. So a nice little touch there from Blitzway. So yeah, we'll put that card to one side. You also get this envelope. Now I'm not 100% certain what's in this envelope. It's the first time I've opened it. We've got a card. Let's have a look at what this card is. Take it out of its little holder, and what we have here, it's a card of authenticity. That's nice to see. It's like a credit card, nice material, nice thick plastic, says Astro Boy on the front, Blitzway at the bottom there, and it's got a nice shine to it as well, and on the back there you've got some silver outlines of the details inside Astro Boy. It says Blitzway, and you've got the number 510 out of 1,000. Nice touch. So rather than a certificate of authenticity, you have a card of authenticity. Nice to see. So pop that back in its little envelope, and we will take a look at some of the other bits and pieces. This little tool, this is vital. Might not look like much, but it's essential. This is used for actually levering off some of the body parts, and as I mentioned, they need to be done in a specific order. So yeah, handy little tool there for removing the bits of the body. These clear plastic pieces that you can see here are for one of the swap out looks. Now, there are sort of three main looks, well, four I would say main looks for this for Astro Boy himself. There's the clean look, which is just him with the skin coloured pieces on. Then there's the half and half look, which is half. One side is the skin coloured pieces, the other side is the exposed machinery and robotics underneath the skin. Then there's this look, which is all clear plastic, which you attach on top of the robotic section, or you can mix and match and have half and half again. Now these are all clear plastic, these sections. I'm not going to go through all of them because, as I say, literally we will be here until the cows come home. But this is a foot section. On the inside here, you've got these metal clips where it attaches to Astro himself. And yeah, really, really nicely done. Super high gloss. Super transparent. I would say handle these with caution. I really should be using gloves for this review, but I forgot because these are prone to scratching. But yeah, so yeah, that's one of the feet. So you get feet, you get the chest area, once again with all the attachments. You get the half head if you're wanting half of his face exposed and the other half uncovered. You get the full face with the now legendary pointy hair, and yeah, same level of detailing on here. Really, really nice, and you can see, and I don't know where the camera's picking this up, but it's a super high quality clear plastic with a high gloss sheen. It's really going to play with the light, this one, and it's already attracting fingerprints from me. I should have used gloves, so I'll put that down. But yeah, as you can see, there are arm sections, chest sections, half chest section. It goes on, so you can have him in that completely transparent look. So we'll just pop these to one side, and we will bring out. Oh, we won't bring out because they're already here. The flesh coloured pieces. Now, pretty much the same story here as with the translucent pieces, only some of these are die cast. This is the actual, for want of a better expression, is pants, the pants section, and so you can have half and half again. So once again, you can mix and match with half flesh coloured, half transparent, and so on. A super high gloss finish. This is actually in die cast. Really, really nicely done. The paint applications on here are phenomenal, and I am really conscious of scuffing these and putting fingerprints on them. But yeah, super high gloss finish. Very, very simple, but very, very well done. You also get the full pants, shall we say, are already on the figure, but we'll take a look at those when we bring it out. So yeah, and once again, you've got pretty much the same story as the transparent sections. You've got a sleeping face here. The face is plastic, not die cast, although the hair on the figure itself is die cast. Really nice paint applications. Obviously here we're looking at a highly stylized character, so we're not going for any sort of gradation in flesh tones or any super realism, but they capture the look of Astro Boy perfectly. The proportions are on point, the eyes are the right size and shape, the eyebrows, the nose, the mouth and the ears, all on point, as we'd sort of come to expect from Blitzway. But yeah, that's the sleeping face. You've got the half sleeping face, so if you're wanting to, once again, mix and match with looks, having him split down the middle between robotic and sleeping or robotic and awake, you can muck about to your heart's content. Other sections as well, there's a chest section. Once again, this is made out of die cast, same fasteners, and also half chest plate as well. Once again, die cast. Really, really super high gloss finish. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah, so they are all your bits and pieces regarding the body, other than the hands, and we'll take a quick look at these. Pegged on, really solid large pegs, if I can get this into shot, as you can see. So yeah, hands themselves, super stylized, screen accurate, absolutely 100%. Really, really nice sort of high gloss finish to the paint application there, and the flesh tones are identical to the flesh tones of all the other pieces. You also get the robotic hand. This is a half hand, so if you're displaying him in the pod or on the stand in robotic mode, you can put these hands on. And on the back here in this cutout section, you've got these sort of gold prongs going into the knuckle area, and this sort of dial in the middle with this silver detailing. Just really, really nicely done. Screen accurate, on point, very well painted, very well sculpted. So yeah, those are the robotic, half robotic hands. So that is all those bits and pieces. Now, the standard edition of this figure comes with its own stand for Astro. And Blitzway have I've actually included it with this piece as well, which is really great to see. And this is it. I shall try and get this into shot now. Relatively simple. It's all one piece of sculpted plastic. Nothing on the bottom here other than Blitzway and Tezuka Productions. No feet on here. It would have been nice to see some feet, but it is what it is. As I say, it's hollow plastic. And these spots here are for where his feet go. There are peg holes here which will hold him in place because the figure itself is very heavy, as we will soon discover. But yeah, I really like this this base. It really captures the aesthetic of the 50s and 60s cartoon really, really well. It's got these sort of static electricity pylons on the side here, which have got this lovely copper paint application. You've got the pipes coming off here, and these sort of, even round the back here, you've got dials and buttons. And the whole thing has that sort of almost 50s Art Deco. I'm going to say Art Nouveau or Art Deco, but yeah, it's got that sort of, I will say Deco vibe to it. And there's no real weathering on here because obviously it's a cartoon character, and the cartoons are relatively clean and sharp, so no weathering on here. But you've got these nice gold details around the edge here to make the base itself pop. So yeah, that's the alternative stand. So that's all the bits and pieces, well, I was going to say accessories, but I use the term loosely, that come with the figure. So without further ado, let's bring out Astro himself. Let's take a close-up look at him and how all these bits and pieces work with him. Okay, so here he is. It's Astro Boy himself, straight out of the box, straight onto the stand, straight onto the turntable. And first impressions are very, very, very good indeed. I'm a little bit blown away. I knew what to expect. I'd done my research on this before I ordered it. But in hand, I have to say, I think it's a magnificent piece of work. It really is. The proportions look absolutely spot on. The paint applications phenomenal and completely screen accurate. The attention to detail, and it doesn't appear like there's an awful lot of detail in this particular piece, but they've captured that sort of that aesthetic the 50s and the 60s absolutely perfectly. I think they've done a wonderful job here, but at the risk of this turning into a gush fest, let's do what we always do. Let's stop the little chat from spinning and have a close-up look at him. Now what we're going to do here is something a little bit different for this channel. Rather than you watch an old man futz around swapping out the body parts, what we're going to do is we're going to cut to the individual looks for him, so you can see up close, and it'll cut out watching me futz around trying to take pieces off and add pieces, although we will touch on how that is done. So yeah, let's get this guy into camera and take a close-up look at him. And straight away, the first thing you notice is the sheer weight of this guy. I mean, this is probably one of the heaviest figures I've owned. It's up there with an Iron Man figure or other die-cast figures. There is a huge amount of die-cast in here. It's sort of, yeah, it is. It's War Machine standards of heavy, this. It really is. Now, he actually attaches to this base by 2 clips. We'll get him off. Well, I say 2 clips. It's 2 holes in the feet here. Now, these obviously are the rocket thrusters that the Astro Boy uses to fly around with. And the detailing there, although simple, the paint applications are absolutely phenomenal. These 2 holes correspond to the 2 holes on the base there, and you just simply slot him on. Now, yeah, it's deceptively simple, this figure. That's what I'll probably repeat myself a few times in this review, but yeah, all die cast, these feet, as are these leg sections all the way up to the head, really, with this super high gloss paintwork. The detailing on the bottom with the thrusters there and that copper paint application is really, really nice. There's some blue detailing picked out there. No real weathering, as I mentioned before, but there's no real weathering on this character. So you move up to the leg sections, which are removable. Super high gloss red paint. The paint color itself is accurate, although the original cartoon was in black and white. The original anime was in black and white. Well, not the original anime. The original manga was in color, obviously, but the original anime itself was black and white. When he finally turned to color, I think in the early 60s, that's when we saw these boots were red. But they've captured the red shade there perfectly with this beautiful high gloss paint application. Fingerprint magnet, obviously, I should be wearing gloves, so tell me off in the comment section below. But moving up, the legs themselves, they're all die cast. There's no articulation here. There is only really 3 points of articulation on this figure, and I'll cover that now. It'll only take a few seconds. There is a little bit of forward and backward motion in this neck, as you can hear. It's ratcheted, and that is literally the only articulation you get there, other than these hands. Now these hands are plastic, as we saw in the accessories section, and you can twist those around. And there's a little bit of give in this arm just to accommodate that turn of the hand there. But yeah, the rest of this is die cast apart from the face. So yes, these pants, black, super high gloss. You've got the green belt with the 2 stripes on one side, 1 stripe on the other. Absolutely screen accurate. Bring him round to the back, and it's just the same level of paint applications on here as well. This is a dust and fingerprint magnet, so how you display this piece, really, unless you want to be cleaning it every 2 days, possible. I'm going to be displaying it in the pod, but if you've got him out in the open, yeah, I'd be prepared to give him some TLC on a regular basis. But yeah, chest section matches perfectly the skin, the paint applications of the arms and the hands. And you move up to the face. As I mentioned, this is removable faceplate. This is the Awake one. This is plastic. The paint applications are great. The attention to detail is there. Proportions spot on. Once again, super stylized and simplistic, but exceptionally effective. That tiny button nose, the huge eyes, the eyebrows and eyelashes and the ears, all on point. And then you come up to the iconic hair. Now, as I said before, this is all die cast as well, with it being black. Once again, a fingerprint magnet, but super high gloss. It's got that now iconic hairstyle with the 2 spikes coming off asymmetrically at the back there. And yeah, just overall a wonderful, wonderful representation of Astro Boy, and very heavy indeed. Let's get him back onto this stand. So what we'll do next is we will go for the fully stripped down look, and basically it involves, and I'll say this from the get-go here, what you do use this tool for. We'll bring him back in for a second before we cut. As I said in at the top there, the instructions, please follow them, because these parts need to come off in a specific order. The legs, the feet, the head, the chest area, and it's simply a case of getting this tool into the gap there and gently levering it away from the rest of the body. The clips themselves underneath are very good. They don't require too much pressure, so you don't feel like you're going to break it. Let's put it that way. But it does require you to pay attention to what you're doing. So yeah, that's how you remove the pieces. We will do that in between shots. So without further ado, let's cut to the fully stripped down Astro Boy. Okay, so here's Astro Boy, fully stripped down, no translucent pieces, all the flesh pieces taken off, flesh coloured pieces taken off, and herein lies my first issue with this figure. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice, why is Astro Boy leaning forward so much? Found a little bit of an issue with this stand here. The pegs, for some reason, I'm not sure whether they don't line up correctly, or whether the milling on the actual holes in his feet is not correct, or whether the plastic pegs themselves are distanced a little bit too far, or whether the molding process on those is wrong. But his feet don't quite fit snugly on this stand, unfortunately, and he's leaning forward currently with his head tilted down, simply because if I stand him upright, he doesn't fit on those pegs properly, and he will topple backwards under his own weight. So yeah, a little bit of an issue there. Also, while we're on the subject of issues that I noticed while stripping this guy down, there's a little bit of discoloration on the inside of one of those boots, but we'll take a look at that. But what we'll do is we'll stop him from spinning and get him into camera in this mode, so we can have a look at the details here. And the details are absolutely phenomenal. And as you can see here, I'll demonstrate this is not quite fitting flush on this stand, and with a figure this weight, and a figure of substantial cash value, shall we say, we don't want it toppling over. So yeah, that's not good. That could be better. But let's get him off the stand and take a close-up look at the details here. And the details really are what makes this figure. Now we'll start at, well, I'm going to say we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. There's no point really. The details speak for themselves. When you strip him down, you are greeted with the rocket thrusters here. I'm assuming this is to carry the rocket fuel that fires the rocket boosters in his feet. You've got these beautiful gold hinges here, on where the knee joints are. There are blue pistons. I'll try and get this as close into camera as possible so you can see the level of detailing here. There are those blue pistons all over. They're in his face there. The gold, the silver paint applications are absolutely spot on. No weathering, as I said there. There's some wiring here, and this is actually for the light up feature to get down to his legs. But there are reds and blues. The detailing is absolutely on point and really, really a thing of beauty. This has been crafted really to such a high standard. The milling, the construction, all absolutely on point. Just a pity it's let down by the casting of that base there and it fitting with the feet. But yeah, that's a minor niggle. Well, it's not a minor niggle. You don't want something this way falling off its base, but yeah, it is what it is. Internally here, you've got silvers, you've got golds, you've got reds. The head itself, I'll try and get this in shot. The head itself, the detailing in there is phenomenal with the robotic brain, with those copper wires coming out. Just overall, a fantastic piece of work. Really amazing. I'll just let you soak in some of the detail here. It really is a thing of beauty and exceptionally well crafted overall. I'll put a caveat there. But yeah, even down to those gold beads around the neck there. Well, I say beads, those gold balls, shall we say, around the neck. Everything is painted beautifully and sculpted and milled incredibly well. The majority of the internals here are plastic, but obviously the externals are metal. So yeah, that's the stripped down version. Also worthy of note at this point as well is the light up feature. Now, if you get a very, very small Phillips head screwdriver into that screw there, take that off. Underneath this section here is a place for some 3-button cell batteries. Pop those in. What will happen is, and I'll try and get him back on the stand for this. I'm hoping he will stay put. I might have to keep one hand on his foot to stop him from toppling so he can lean the head back. As you can see here, positioning it back on this stand, and then it just wants to move around, as I mentioned before. But yeah, we'll tilt this head back up so he's looking straight into camera. You pop your button cells in there, and then you simply press his heart very gently. There's a switch under there, and you're greeted with this light up effect. In actual fact, what I will do while holding this is I will kill the lights so you can see this in all its glory while holding him. Is not the easiest thing in the world with one hand, so please bear with me. And I'm hoping I hit the right button here. Yeah, there we go. Now, it's banging out some really bright light, I think, for 3-button cell batteries. I doubt they'll last particularly long, so you might find yourself swapping those out on a regular basis if you use this feature. But yeah, it lights up the eyes with these super bright white LEDs, and they are very bright indeed. Then you've got the heart, obviously, which acts as a switch, and it has this pulsing effect, almost like a heartbeat. And then down in the bottom here, where the rocket thrusters are, you've got this glowing, alternating glowing effect. Rather than it just being solid light, it's got this wonderful sort of fade in, fade out look to give it that feeling of the rockets being fired. But yeah, fantastic light up features, really, really nice there. So what we will do next is we will go for the translucent look. So without further ado, let's cut to the see-through Astro Boy. Okay, so here's Astro Boy in translucent form. Relatively simple operation using the tool provided, just ensuring that you do it in the correct order and then reverse that order when you're removing parts. But yeah, we'll have a quick look at him in this format. And the first thing I noticed actually is he's standing slightly more stably on this stand. With plastic on the front there, so I'm assuming possibly it's a combination of milling on the plastic stand itself, or rather the actual molding process, and just the sheer weight is making him topple backwards and forwards. But yeah, let's have a quick look at how he appears in translucent form. We'll get him off the stand and have a little close-up look at this. Very impressive. All the parts are really, really well manufactured and fit in place very, very easily, and come away very, very easily as well. So yeah, no issues there. And this is the second look. The only issue really with this look is if you're wanting to go with this look, you're not going to be able to use the light up feature because you're going to be taking the piece off the chest every 2 minutes to switch them on and off. There are two pieces that go over the hands. and then 2 pieces for the legs, the shorts, the thigh area, single piece for the chest, single piece for each individual arm, a single face plate as well. But that's what you get with the translucent look. I do like this look. I think it is fantastic. It really, really is. I'm spoilt for choice with looks. I don't know what I'm going to go with yet. I'm thinking half and half. And talking of half and half, let's cut to how he looks half and half. Okay, so it's the half and half look for Astro Boy. I must admit, I am liking this look particularly. I think this is a direction I'm going to go with in the display when we've checked out the pod and before we move on to the showcase. But yeah, once again, the removing and the attaching of the parts relatively simple. I did, and the eagle-eyed amongst you will know, I did encounter a slight difficulty reattaching the half face plate to the hair, back to the head, but I think that is down to my clumsy construction work and not the actual machining of this piece. There is a gap there that needs finagling. I don't think it's quite aligned right. You have to be super careful when you're realigning these pieces, not just to get them in place properly. There are a couple of small clips underneath the face plates that need taking out that can get lost very easily. And also, you need to be super careful as well when reattaching that you don't scratch this really, really high gloss paint application. But yeah, as I say, this is getting close to my preferred look. I do love this sort of half human, half robot look. You also get this door for the chest. I like this as well. We'll stop it from spinning actually, so we can take a quick closer look at this look. This look for me is absolutely on point. You can attach this door to the chest area. It doesn't move, it's not hinged, it just simply slots in place, which gives you access obviously to the buttons, so you can go for the light up function here in this look as well, which I really like, having him sort of half lit, half robotic, half human, as I said. So I really, really am going all in with this look. But as I say, relatively simple to replace the parts, and if you want to as well. And that's the beauty of this piece, and you've probably noticed he's standing more stably as well. I think this is something to do with the boots. You can swap out the clear plastic sections at this point as well. So if you're wanting to have maybe the thigh and the boot area in clear plastic and the arm in clear plastic, and the rest opened up with the human side on the left-hand side, you can do that. You can really mix and match to your heart's content here. The only thing you can't do is have the full transparent face on there, because it's a complete face plate, and it comes obviously with the hair section as well. So that's not doable, unfortunately. But you've also got as well, and I'm not going to go for this look right now because you'll see it in the showcase. You can go for the full sleeping, recharging, shall we say, head sculpt as well. And these are those clips that we talked about here. So be super careful with those if you're picking this up, because they could very easily get lost. But yeah, so you could go for full face, sleeping mode with just some exposed parts, or the half face with some exposed parts but covered in clear sections. Really, you can mix and match to your heart's content here. It is great until you find that look that really, really works for you. So yeah, there you have it. That's the half and half look. So what we'll do next is we will bring out the pod. Take a look at the pod, have a quick look around it, and then we'll wrap the whole thing up with a showcase where we can take a look at how he works with that pod, and the different looks that you can achieve with this figure. So it's over to the pod. Okay, so here it is. It's Astro Boy's pod, and a mighty big pod it is too. This thing comes in at about 18 inches tall by about 10 inches wide, so you're going to need some space if you're going for this in your display. This isn't something that's going to fit the Detolf or similar. You're going to need to designate a spot for it, let's put it that way. But we'll take an up close look at this behemoth of a pod, and straight out of the box, yeah, very, very impressive. Pretty much this is all plastic, I believe. I don't think there's any die cast in here, but what you've got is this sort of fantastic grey paint applications. No weathering again, as with the figure, but these grey and silver and copper and gold paint applications, which really do come off as metallic to all intents and purposes. up close and from a distance, this thing is made out of metal. Talking of distance and up close and personal, I'm way back here so we can get all this in shot. So I'm reaching over the camera. So forgive me if if things are a little clumsy during this section. But I am not going to lift this thing up to show you the base. Underneath the base, though, you do have the Astro Boy symbol and you have the limited edition number as well printed on the bottom. It's got feet, which I'm glad to see because it's that big. You spin this, well, we'll start at the front here. You've got this, obviously, you've got this clear plastic window here so you can see Astro Boy inside. It's got this this clear cover on the front, which I will take off before we do the showcase. In fact, I might take it off now because it's an incredibly satisfying experience, I find, removing these plastic covers. Just bear with me while I get a grip on it and see if we can't peel this off. It doesn't want to come off. This is very, very tough. Yeah, this it's certainly it's been well stuck on this. I don't want to scratch this, the plastic underneath, so I'm going to be super careful here while I'm trying to get a hold of this. There we go. That's got it. Yeah, and oh yeah, it's as satisfying as ever. Yeah, just peel that off. And underneath, obviously, you've got the clear window with a view in on Astro Boy himself. So yeah, the paint applications are really nice. The sculpt is on point. The detailing here is really, really good. You've got these sort of cylinders on the side here with the same high level of paint application. Some super gloss paint, black paint on the piping that's going inside the pod. Bring it round. And fair to mention at this point, while we're coming round here, at the bottom here you've got this handle. Now on both sides of the pod, if you slide this handle out, you've got storage space for the accessories underneath here. But it's not just a drawer, and I'm not sure if the camera's picking this up. I'll try and bring it over so we can see. Yeah, if you can see inside that drawer there, there are specific spots in there for specific accessories. So yeah, really nice touch there from Blitzway to do that. And I shall bring the camera back and see if we can't align it up. And we seem to, the gimbal seems to be playing hard to get there, but yeah, we'll come back to where we were. So yeah, you've got these drawers, and there's one on either side, and they clip back in place, and the hinges on there are really smooth, and it just feels really, really satisfying. Bring it round to the front, or is this the back? I think this is the front, the way this thing works. The hinge doors here, and we'll bring it right the way around. On this side, again, you've got that drawer, as I mentioned before. There's that drawer going on there, and that's for the other accessories. And around here is this control panel next to the window. Now, this control panel is actually where you insert the batteries, because there are light-up functions with this piece. Obviously, this was a little tough to get off when I got it straight out of the box. I've already inserted the battery, so I would say exercise some caution here, because this really, really is tough. But grip it at either side and simply pull it off. Pop in 3 AAA batteries, following the instructions, and then just pop this back on. And it takes a little bit of work. It's quite tight, that, but once that's on there, you've got this little red switch, and you simply throw the switch, and it illuminates the interior. Not only does it illuminate the interior, it actually illuminates this little panel here with a green LED, which is really, really quite nice to see. And inside there, you can see it all lit up. Probably not so much in these lights, but we'll take a look at it in dim lights when we do the showcase. I'll bring it back round so you can see the doors on this thing, and turn those lights off for a second. Bring it back round. Now, when you're opening these doors, you need to use both handles simultaneously. There is a clip that holds them together. I noticed this straight out of the box. So you need to grasp both doors and then just let that clip come apart. And once it's come apart, then it's simply a case of swinging the doors open to reveal the interior. And quite spectacular the interior is too. You've got, and now this actually is cold to the touch, and I'm not sure whether this is plastic or metal. And I think it's plastic, but it looks, as I said, like some of the exterior, to all intents and purposes, like it's metal. It's got sculpted in rivets there. There are the 2 foot pegs for Astro himself, and inside the doors, you've got these silver painted slots with them. These are for the actual hands. These have got hand pegs on them. All these slots on either side of the doors here are for the accessories as well. So you store the remainder of the accessories in here. the rest of them up here, and obviously you've got Astro Boy in the center there, and you can see him through the back as well, or rather the front. I believe these are the back doors. Obviously he faces the window at the front there, but you've even got some detailing on the inside here. If the camera's catching that, you've got this sort of silver pipe work here with a red handle on it. The LEDs down either side there. On the bottom of this door here, you've got these green screen control panels with buttons at the bottom. Detailing is absolutely on point here, really, really nicely done, and all of it has that retro 50s stroke 60s Art Deco feel about it. On the inside as well, you've got down the other side, obviously a strip of LEDs as well, and then there's this sort of what looks like a sculpted junction box painted in high gloss silver paint as well. So yeah. The action on the doors is very, very smooth because it's jointed on this rim here, and then this other section slides straight through and under the base itself. So yeah, you've got this really sort of smooth closing action. I would say the only thing that is, I won't say problematic, but can be tough, is just getting that clip in at the end there and applying a little bit of pressure to get those doors to close properly. But yeah, and exercise some caution opening it because it can be a bit tough. I'm sure they will work loose as the thing gets a few years on it. But yeah, there you have it. That's the pod itself. So what we'll do is we'll get all the accessories out, get them all onto the doors here, into the drawers, get Astro in place, and we'll take a look at how this whole thing works together. Okay, so here's Astro Boy in the pod. We've gone for the translucent look, simply because so we can demonstrate where the flesh-coloured parts, the other bits and pieces go on the internal doors here, where you store them. I would say at this point, if you are going to go for this look in your display and you are going to attach these pieces, be super careful clipping these on. The doors themselves are hollow, and the internal plastic, although sturdy, might not stand up too well to the pressure that you need to put onto these pieces to actually clip them in. They are very, very strong clips, which is good to see, so the pieces won't be falling out. But by the same token, getting them on the first time can be problematic. So don't put too much pressure on there if you're picking this piece up, because you might damage the doors or damage the clips. But yeah, this is what he looks like inside. Now there are two ways you can display this. I think well, there's a multitude of ways you can display the actual figure, but inside the pod there's a couple of options you've got here. Now I won't be going for this particular option because as much as I like this fully translucent look and the fully stripped down look, I want to go for a half and half or a full Astro Boy look. But you can have the figure facing either way. So you can have him facing out of the pod like this, so you can display the open doors with all the accessories attached to them. Or you can flip him around, and I'll just demonstrate here, and you can pop him in this way, close those doors, and have that window facing outwards, which is what I'll be doing, obviously, because this takes up a lot of room in the display. And you've probably noticed straight away we've got the same issue with these foot pegs on the inside of the pod, as well as the regular stand that comes with the figure. As you can see, he's wanting to lean back. They're not entirely 100% stable there. Yeah, and although he is holding, I am really fearful of him toppling back there. But yeah, we'll flip him back round so he doesn't fall over. Yeah, and we'll go in for final thoughts on this guy after we've just activated the light features. And so yeah, as you can see, it's a bit of a pain in the proverbials getting these pegs to hold the legs, and that's going to affect the score, unfortunately. You have to tilt the head forward sometimes just to offset that balance so he doesn't fall backwards or forwards. But yeah, let's activate the lights. We'll reach around here and hit that control pad and activate the internal lights, and maybe dim the lights as well so you can see the full effect of this. If I can find that switch at the back, which there we go. We'll activate the heart section as well. There we go, gentle push on there, and we'll drop the lights so we can see Astro in all his glory. In fact, we'll kill them entirely. How about drop them? Just bear with me while I get this last light. And this is when this piece really starts to take on a life of its own. I'm not going to kill those backlights simply because I won't be able to see what the heck I'm doing. But yeah, displayed this way, as I say, it really, really comes into its own. You'll see it the other way around in the showcase. with him facing outwards, and we'll alternate the looks for him as well. So final thoughts on this piece. I think it's phenomenal. I genuinely think this is where the hobby itself borders on art. It really does. It's a little piece of history here, a little piece of anime and manga history, and Blitzway have done it superbly. That's all I can say. It's not without its issues, and we will cover those. My biggest gripe, and this is going to affect the score, unfortunately. I so wanted to give this a 10 out of 10. I so expected to be giving this a 10 out of 10, but it ain't going to happen, unfortunately. First thing is that stand and the internal pegs here as well. The solution that Blitzway came up with could have been done better. It's inherently unstable, unfortunately. And had I picked up the standard version of this, without this pod, and encountered the same issue with the stand, I don't think I'd have been too happy. So there's going to be points off for that. Apart from that, the only other minor gripe I've got is that there's some paint scuffing on the inside of this of one of these legs here, the red leg sections. Well, it's not scuffing. It looks like it's been caught on something, or maybe some paint has rubbed off from somewhere else, maybe in the factory or during the painting process. I'm not certain. Yeah, I'm going to try and remove it, but I ain't going to go too crazy with it because I don't want to damage that high gloss finish. They're the only real faults I could find with this piece, and maybe these clips can be problematic to work with when you're putting them onto the body and attaching them to the doors as well. But the biggest gripe, as I said, is that foot and stand solution. But overall, that being said, the good points, well, there are literally thousands of them. The screen accuracy, absolutely 100% on point. The craftsmanship, the materials used, the die cast, the paint applications, the sculpt, the detailing, absolutely nailed on, and nailed on solidly in every area. The pod itself, a fantastic way to display the figure, a great addition. I love the light up features, and viewers to my channel will know I am not a huge fan of light up features on figures. I'm not. A lot of the time it's fiddly and a pain in the proverbials getting those button cell batteries in and out. I know a lot of stuff's USB these days, which is fantastic, and that's another thing. I'm not going to mark it down for this, but I think Blitzway could have come up with a USB feature for when Astro Boy's inside the pod itself. I think the whole pod itself could have been USB'd, and also then some way of transmitting that power up maybe through the feet into Astro himself, because getting those tiny little button cell batteries in there is a pain in the proverbials. So yeah, a power source solution would have been nice to see, but overall I think it is a phenomenal piece. It is so imposing. It would make an amazing centerpiece to anybody's display. I love it. I absolutely think it's wonderful. It's slightly left of center as well. I think what we're looking at here is a little piece of history rather than just a figure from a movie or a comic book. Yeah, we're looking at history here, which is and that carries a lot of kudos with me, and is a big part of my collecting ethos. It's not just about the latest trend. It's about what encapsulates pop culture, cinema, and everything that goes along with it. So yeah, that's enough of my gush fest. So a score out of 10. Right, well, let's take into account that issue with those feet. Let's take into account some of the clipping solutions, shall we say. I'm going to have to go with a 9.5, maybe a 9. I'm stuck somewhere between 9 and 9.5. I'm not going to be using the standard issue stand, so maybe I'm influenced by that, but overall, yeah, truly spectacular. A phenomenal piece. We'll stick with 9.5. Yeah, just a shame I can't give it a 10, but I have to say what I see. So there you have it. That's Astro Boy from Blitzway. What are your thoughts on this piece? Is it something on your radar? It's something you got in your collection? I would be fascinated to hear your thoughts. Please drop a comment in the comment section below. And to answer the question that we started this video with, Is it a statue or is it a figure? Only that neck is articulated, so I think this is more of a statue. I'm going to call it a statue. Yeah, but we'll go with statue. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below exactly what you think of this, and I'll be fascinated to hear any comments on Blitzway, comments on Astro Boy, comments on this piece. Please drop them in the comment section below. And I suppose all it remains for me to say is, before actually we go over to the showcase, and the showcase is going to take a slightly different format this time round. We ain't going to be going into the Apex display boxes or into the Detolf, simply it won't fit in the Detolf. And I think the way the lighting's been designed for this, it's far better to showcase it the way it is. So yeah, before we go to the showcase, what's coming up on the channel? Well, in the 1/6 scale world, we have Caustic Plastics, Horror of Dracula. That's the deluxe pack. That should be on its way to us soon. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm crossing everything here. Premiere Toys, Furiosa and Dementus from Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. Hopefully that will be with us soon. And also from Premiere, we've got the Doof Warrior from Mad Max Fury Road. Susu Toys, Blade 3, we've got the Interstellar double pack from Premiere Toys. XO6, Savick and Krug. I believe that the release dates on those have been pushed back a little bit, but hopefully we'll get them sooner rather than later. Present Toys, oh yeah, a raft of present toys. Anton Chigurh, No Country for Old Men, Ripley from Aliens, and a boatload others. In the quarter scale world, we have the Prime 1 Batman statue, the N52 Batman statue, and the Prime 1 Blitzway Paul Atreides statue, quarter scale as well. In the NECA world, in the 110 scale world, a boatload of things as well. I'm not going to go into all that, as we would be here all night. I could list stuff until the batteries ran out, but I won't. So yeah, there you have it. So all it remains for me to say, and I hope this review's been useful for you as well, by the way. All it remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching. From me, from Astro Boy, take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.